Hi there. I want to talk to you about some eclipse tips because we are in eclipse season. It officially will begin on March 25th with the Libra lunar eclipse, and this is a partial eclipse. Lunar eclipses are about endings, and solar eclipses are about beginnings. So the ending is going to come first. And this is how we're going to close out March. When you think about eclipses, remember it's a two-part story. So whatever is going to happen on March 25th or right around there, eclipses are in effect 10 days prior. So that's going to bring us to about the 15th of the month. I personally think when Mercury hits the shadow zone around the 18th of March, this is when we're going to start to feel like things are brewing. But the second part of eclipse season will be on April 8th with a total solar eclipse in Aries. And April will likely be one of the most potent, impactful months of the year. So whatever you're doing, it's definitely going to have a high octave to it. It's also taking place the April 8th total solar eclipse, which is going to be all over the place. You're going to see all sorts of, news about it. I was traveling recently and I was driving down a highway and I saw this huge billboard showcasing that the eclipse was X number of days away. And I was just like, wow, this is so cool that they're talking about this eclipse. And I see it as I'm driving down the highway. But anyway, you're going to start, the media is going to get, and not from an astrological standpoint, but probably from an astronomical standpoint, right? Because this is going to be actually happening in the sky. It's going to be in the day, so you need to get your glasses in order to be able to see it, but you could see it, and try to get those glasses sooner rather than later, because the price will go up the closer we get to April 8th. But anyway, I want to give you some tips about this period because it is going to be important to think about these tips as you go forward and as you embark upon the first eclipse season of 2024. It's a really potent time, and new doors open and old doors close. It's just important to be aware of the caveats because there's a lot of them, especially in this one. So the first thing, and I'm reading my computer screen as I'm, doing this video, so I'm just going to reference my screen as I talk to you. The first thing is you need to expect the unexpected, because eclipses have a funny way of diverting our attention. And you may have every desire to go one way, and the universe is like, no, you got to go this way. So it does create a unpredictability, a high energy time where you can go off the rails a little bit. And, the more you're able to flow, the better, but sometimes that's much easier said than done. The second tip is that you have to be prepared to say goodbye to something. And that, I think, is going to present first with the end of March with the Libra lunar eclipse. Saying goodbye to something is not always a person, place, or thing. It could actually be a idea or a way of life or some sort of pattern of thinking. So keep that in mind as well. Tip number 3 is prepare to compromise, especially with the Libra lunar eclipse, because that is all about compromising. But with the North Node in Aries, we have to individuate and we have to think about our own situations and our own desires and our own wants, be a little selfish in order to, think about what we need to do. Because the South Node is in Libra and we're trying to break away from that appeasing nature. We want to be peaceful and we want to compromise, but sometimes it's not negotiable. And again, this is a personal choice. Like, do you fall more into the Aries energy or do you fall more into the Libra energy? Like, I don't know. That's a question you need to ask yourself. But if you fall more into the Libra side, where you'd say yes for the purposes of peace and you forget about your own desires and wants and needs and authenticity, you probably are going to shift gears a little bit. You know what I mean? Like that North Node in Aries is going to prompt you to be like, well, what about me? Like I can't always do for you. What about my needs? If you fall more into the Aries side where you tend to think about yourself more, you might need to give more attention to the person that you're involved with. Or the situation where you need to listen to other people's input. So we're each going to have our own place in this story. I think, you kind of can understand yourself and know which side you fall on, but most of us tend to fall on one side or the other. The tip number 4 is to keep breathing, because yes, eclipses are sporadic and they are chaotic sometimes, and they are high energy. And it's important to just keep breathing, take a deep breath, take care of yourself as you go through the period of intensity, because it's like these doors open up and the doors close, and it's a lot to deal with in a short period of time, especially for people that like to process. There's some people who just can jump in and deal right away, but the processors are going to need a little bit of time to work through and engage with the energy. The signs that are likely going to be most affected this eclipse season are going to be the cardinal signs. That's going to be Aries, Libra, where the actual eclipses are taking place, and Capricorn and Cancer. So those 4 signs are going through a lot of radical shifts right now, which could be uncomfortable. So, uncomfortability leads to, productivity and to forward momentum, but it's really hard to work through the uncomfortable piece. Tip number 5 is to be open to the possibilities, because sometimes new beginnings come in crazy ass packages. And you know this just as well as I do. Try to look at the potential of what the universe is trying to deliver to you. It's sometimes hard though. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I'm there with you. The other thing is tip number 6. There is a changeability factor to this. And the reason for that is because there is a Mercury retrograde that will begin on April 1st. And the shadow period begins on March 18th. The retrograde will go from April 1st to April 25th, just as a heads up. Now, that's all my tips, 6 tips. And I know there was a lot of things that that are involved with those 6 tips. With astrology, it's so hard that's why I love my member horoscopes, because I can just elaborate. Sometimes it's hard to get what you want to get in 30 seconds or 90 seconds or whatever the clips that are allowed right now on social media. It's hard, but that's why I just love to just tell you everything and the details, because there's so many details that go along with all of these planetary moves. And I get it. Like when you're involved in a big time in your life, especially if it feels like a crisis or it feels like a momentous new beginning, it's so important and helpful to have some background information as to what is the universe trying to do? What is just a little bit of a guide. So I hope that these tips help you, and I hope that your horoscopes help you as well. All right, good luck with your doors closing, because that's first, and then your doors opening, and also kind of reworking that Mercury retrograde going back before I can go forward energy into the mix. All right, good luck.